Welcome. In this video, I will explain the vibration of numbers from 1 to 9. Stay a few minutes and you will learn their meaning. Don't forget to subscribe. Number 1. Okay, let's look at the main points of number 1. So people who have a lot of number 1 energy in their charts, whether it be the life path expression number solar urge, they will have characteristics of leadership. These are the people who are natural born leaders, whether they choose to accept that energy or not. The energy is there for them. They can be an individualistic or eccentric. So these can be the people who want to be different. These can be the people who have piercings, tattoos, pink hair. They come up with all these crazy ideas before anyone else, and a lot of their crazy ideas tend to work. And then other people will tend to adapt theirs or copy them. These pictures, because these people are known as the trendsetters as well, but quirky. They're very competitive. No one says it all, doesn't it? And that's what they want to be. They want to be number 1. So they've got competitive energy in that number as well. And then last but not least, at number 1 is also associated with independence. So these people like to go it alone. That can probably cause issues in relationships sometimes, because these people, even when they're in relationships, they still like their own space. They still act to do their own thing, and independence is very important to them. Number 2. Moving on to number 2 then. So the main aspects for people who are number 2 are they are very good in relationships, of very good with people. These are the people with really great communication, interpersonal skills, people skills. They love being in relationships. They love sharing. These the people who put other people before them all of the time, and are happy to give away things to what doesn't go without themselves, and they're it better in partnerships than alone. These are the opposite to people with a lot of number 1 energy, in that they do prefer to have a partner, and they can feel a little bit lonely if they don't have another person, whether that be in a relationship or in business. And these people tend to like having one close friend as well, rather than a lot of acquaintances. So it can be a really nice energy to have, but it could restrict the person sometimes when it comes to doing things for themselves. Number 3. Let's move on to one of my favorite numbers now. It's actually one that I don't have in my chart, and it's one that I wish I did had, because it's a lovely energy, number 3. So what can we say about number 3? Well, these people are creative. They're very, very entertaining. They have a lot of energy. They always seem to be enthusiastic about everything. Want to learn new things. They're the joker in the pack and the very fun-loving. So these people are all about the fun. These are people that you'd see on stage making people laugh, or working in holiday camps or other parts of the entertainment industry, tour guides, anywhere where they can be among people and make them laugh and entertain, basically. So it's a really lovely energy. Let's move on to one of my favorite numbers now. It's actually one that I don't have in my chart, and it's one that I wish I did had, because it's a lovely energy, number 3. So what can we say about number 3? Well, these people are creative. They're very, very entertaining. They have a lot of energy. They always seem to be enthusiastic about everything. Want to learn new things. They're the joker in the pack and the very fun-loving. So these people are all about the fun. These are people that you'd see on stage making people laugh, or working in holiday camps or other parts of the entertainment industry, tour guides, anywhere where they can be among people and make them laugh and entertain, basically. So it's a really lovely energy. Number 4. Let's move on to another number now. Number 4, and this is one that I do have in my chart, and the main aspects of this number are reliability. These are the people that you trust. They're reliable. They make promises and keep them. They're organized. They're usually financially stable as well. These are people who have investments that work for them. They're good at saving. They're good at making the money work for them. They're very hardworking, and they're good at solving problems. So these people have a lot of logical thinking in them as well. These are just these are people that keep society going, really the people that you can rely on, dependable. Sometimes the energy can be bit boring if that's sort of more of a negative aspect. But generally these are people that you can rely on, they're organized and they've got the money working for them. So it is a nice energy to have, especially if you've got a lot of other energies that are more sort of freedom loving and creative. Number 5. Let's look at another one of my favorite numbers now. And that's number 5. Now I don't have any number 5 in my chart, and one thing that I would want to just mention now while we're talking about it is that sometimes if there is a number missing in someone's chart, then that means that they could possibly need to learn more about the energy in this life because they don't actually have it in their energy field. It could be that that's something missing. And sometimes when there's something missing, it means that you could possibly do with learning the lesson of that number anyway. So life will often give you situations that will force you to use the things that you don't naturally have, and you tend to see that number a lot. Now number 5, the pairs in my life a lot. Nearly every single house I've lived in, I've lived in quite a few. The number has added up to 5. So the energy in the homes I've lived in tend to be a lot of number 5 energy. My phone number adds up to number 5. Places I've worked, addresses there, I've had number 5, and so I have had to learn to deal with a lot of the energy of number 5 around me. And even though I find it difficult sometimes because it's not naturally in me, it's not in my chart, it's not in my vibration, it doesn't mean to say that just because you don't have a number in your chart that you won't experience that number in your everyday life. So let's go ahead then and look at what number 5 means. Okay. So people with a lot of number 5 energy tend to be creative, they're very freedom loving as well. They don't like to be tied down. They're also people who have a live and let live attitude. So these aren't the people that like to obey rules and make rules and bust people about, and they're very accepting. So these are the people who will go out of their way to promote rights for people with disabilities, gay rights, all this sort of thing. They hate any prejudice, and they like to help the underdog and people like that. They also love change and adventure. That's a really big thing. For the number 5 energy, it's all about change and adventure and searching out for new experiences. And people with this energy are also natural born entrepreneurs. It's naturally in them because they're happy to take risks. They don't need security like some of the other numbers, and they're willing to just go for it and go towards the new and have an adventure and see what happens. So it's a lovely energy. The people who can handle it. Number 6. Moving on now to number 6, and this number's lovely because these are the people who hold society together. These are the caring people now, just like none before. They're very responsible, but the caring overtakes that. I'd say the number 6 energy is predominantly about caring for others, And when I say being responsible in the case of number 6, it's usually about being responsible for others, caring for rivers, putting others before themselves. They tend to be drawn to careers in the service industry. These are the nurses, the paramedics, doctors, healers, even people like social workers, teachers can have a lot of this number 6 energy. And the one downside really about having this energy, especially if you have a lot of it, is the person can often neglect themselves because they put this first. One of the things that they could do with learning in this lifetime is self-care and appreciating things that they want for themselves and not live in their life. Making it all about other people. Number 7. And so number 7 also has a lot of analytical thinking aspect to it. Philosophers have number 7 priests. Anybody issues in the higher mind a lot as well will tend to have a lot of number 7 in their neurological charts. They're interested in higher thought, academia, or the unexplained, and these people these are often the ones daydreaming as well, but it may look like the daydreaming and then not paying attention. But rarely there. It's their way of access in a higher mind. And a lot of their ideas will come from daydream, and a lot of inventors as well will have a lot of this in their charts and daydream. This is one of the best things that these people can do. And that's where they get all their ideas that can help humanity. So a nice energy in number 7. Number 8. Okay, so let's move on to number 8 next, and this is a number that probably a lot of your clients We'll hope they've got in their charts because number 8 can make people very good with money. The only downside as well to that though is that these people can be materialistic and too focused on status symbols so too much. Number 8 energy in the chart could make people want the latest gadgets. These could be the people who will go into debt just to make all that people think highly of them because that way they can buy their designer bags and the sports cars and the Apple watches and all that sort of stuff. They want to be seen to be rich and to be on trend and be able to afford luxury lifestyles. So just because they want to appear like that doesn't mean they do have the money. But if they worked on the positive energy then they would have the money, they would be good with money if they worked on the positives rather than the negatives, which is been all about show and wanted to have all the luxury things, all the material luxuries without actually having the money by going into credit card debt and so on. As with number 5 people, these are also natural born entrepreneurs and they can make great business leaders or financial advisors. So it's working on that positive aspect and trying to avoid the negativity of spending money that you don't have. If you have this no energy in your chart. Number 9. Okay, last but not least there is a lovely number 9 and this is in my chart. This one and it's my life path number and I really like this number. The number 9 people are the humanitarians of the world. They really want to make the world a better place. They love helping others put more on a broader scale. The number 6 is more on a one-to-one scale, helping people in hospitals and things like that, caring for people on a one-to-one basis, whereas a number 9 wants to change the world on a broader scale, wants to help humanity. And make a big difference in the world and they want to change all the bad things that's going on, so that can be frustrating for some number 9 people if they're not able to do that. They can get very depressed if there are bad things going on in the world and they don't feel that there's anything that can be done about it. And they do have natural optimism though, so they will try. But again, they can be depressed if the big bad world gets a bit too much at times. They can also just at number 6 be drawn to the service professions and charitable organizations. But again, more on a broader scale to help a lot more people at once rather than helping one person at a time, and they can often be very passionate about a cause as well and want to do all they can to help that cause. So it's a lovely number, but it can be quite a big energy to work with for some people if they feel like they're not able to change the things that they want to change. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.